Well, as a lot of you know, DJI has just announced as of January 7th, just ahead of CES 2018, the release of the Osmo Mobile 2. And you may be wondering which Osmo Mobile to buy, the original or this one. If you're watching this, then you're also likely aware that video reviews and comparisons to the first Osmo Mobile are already flooding YouTube, courtesy of some pre-release units DJI has already sent out to reviewers, though the rest of us will have to wait a bit longer. This is not one of those. I am sadly not one of DJI's chosen few, so I'm going to have to go by what has actually been released so far, just like you do. If you're watching this, so why watch this at all? I'll tell you. These early reviewers were picked for a reason. They're friendly to DJI, so to speak. Which is to say that DJI tells them what to say, so what good are their reviews? At least having watched them, I'm convinced that must be the case anyway. Why do I say that? Because nearly every single review I've seen so far, and remember, this is from people who have actually had the thing in their hands, have either glossed over or completely missed some major flaws. I hope to fix that with this video. But before I start, you're going to need some background. So I'll take you back to the long lost and distant time known as 2 years ago. On September 1st, 2016, at the IFA conference in Berlin, DJI released the Osmo Mobile. The Osmo Mobile was DJI's already successful and proven Osmo handle with an integrated cell phone carrying gimbal, replacing the Osmo series normal camera gimbal. And at just $299, it was only about half the price. It was marketed at the consumer who wanted a smooth gimbal stabilized camera, but did not want to spend the money to invest in more professional gear, preferring instead to use the camera they already have in their phones. But now, they can still keep using their phone's camera, but also enjoy gimbal stabilization. It was an instant success. Osmo Mobiles flew off the store shelves and soon became a staple of vloggers everywhere. Then, just over 4 months later, on January 4th, 2017, DJI released the M1 gimbal at CES 2017. Now, the Osmo Mobile's gimbal could be added to an existing Osmo handle, and even allow the use of the Z-axis and the cable mount, broadening the appeal even further. And they even released the original Osmo Mobile, this time in silver. What wasn't to like? Well, the price. DJI are known, rightfully so, as having very good and well-made products offering features that no competitor can touch for the same price. They're a couple of years ahead generally. That's all good, but the problem is that while the price is fantastic for what you actually get, it is still kind of high compared to everything else. Not unobtainably so, but still expensive compared to the cheaper, if less capable, alternatives. To make matters worse, other companies flagrantly violate DJI's design when they create similar-looking knockoff products that are laughable in comparison, but are much cheaper. I'll leave the irony of a Chinese company having their IP ripped off here. Eventually, such lower quality but cheaper knockoff products began to take their toll on DJI's market share. For example, the Smooth Q by Zhiyun, an extremely similar product with a very similar look, right down to the carrying case. It was only about $139 to DJI's $299. It lacks several of the major features of the DJI and is not of the same quality, but it is close enough for a lot of people anyway. And it is $160 cheaper, less than half the price. This brings us up to DJI's Black Friday sale. Just a few months ago, the price of the Osmo Mobile was slashed by $100, bringing it to just $199. And the price lasted beyond the Black Friday sale, leading to instant speculation that DJI was dumping their existing inventory in preparation for a new release, as is their habit. And that is precisely what happened. The new model was launched to much fanfare, the Osmo Mobile 2. And to everyone's shock and sheer amazement, it was even cheaper than its own predecessor, and by an impressive amount at that, even undercutting its own knockoffs like the Smooth Q. That is not typical. How is that possible, though? How is the new model cheaper than the old one? It's already been reduced by $100. It makes no sense. That is, until you take a closer look at it. On its face, the Osmo Mobile 2 seems to offer an impressive list of new features, as is typical of DJI. In this case, we now have a portrait mode, hyperlapse, a nice standard tripod mount on the bottom, and most impressive of all, a radically improved battery, boasting an incredible time of up to 15 hours, about a 300% improvement over the original. And it even has a micro USB port for recharging your phone. All that in a lighter package as well. Whoa! Unfortunately, that seems to be where most of the other reviews stop, but this one won't. For all those advantages, there are also some disadvantages. There is a reason why it is so cheap. The first thing that experienced Osmo users are likely to notice is that the rosette mount is missing. Why is that important? The rosette mount is how all of the Osmo accessories, save for the tripod and base, attach. So what that means is that none of the Osmo accessories will work. And for those of us coming from the old model, that is huge. We have hundreds of dollars worth of accessories that we can't even use with this. And worse, there's nothing to replace their function. The result is a far less capable system. The second thing an Osmo user is likely to notice is that the trigger is missing. The trigger is many users' favorite thing, in that we use it literally all the time. It's what locks the gimbal's direction, recenters the camera, and in the case of the Osmo Mobile, changes from the front or rear camera. This has technically been replaced by reassigning those functions to a different button, what used to be the shutter button on the other Osmos. But to my eye anyway, that seems far less ergonomic and intuitive than the old way. Also, the direction lock will not disengage unless the button is pressed again, whereas with the trigger, one will simply have to release it. That's not the only remap control either. All the others have been changed as well. Even the power switch is no longer the power switch, but now a zoom control and has been moved to the other side. What the hell? This will wreak havoc on those used to the old controls. Maybe it won't be as bad as it seems. I don't know. DJI has not sent me one to test. If they do, maybe I'll revise this opinion. But for now, I have to say this is a major flaw. The next issue is that battery. Yes, 15 hours is nice, but what if you need more? How could you possibly need more? Well, remember, 15 hours is under ideal conditions, i.e., turning on, but indoors and not even in use. The actual time you'll get will be less. On top of that, you may also recharge your phone with it. Now, consider the possibility that you may be in a remote area. Say you are documenting your hiking, camping, or rafting trip for something, and you will not be near an electrical outlet for several days. Now that 15 hours doesn't seem like so much, does it? Once it drains, you'll have to plug it in to recharge it, and that takes 2 hours. And what if you have no plug? You better have a crap load of battery banks then. But if you do you really need to recharge your phone from your Osmo? With the other Osmos, you could simply replace the battery. Sure, the batteries don't last as long, but you can carry as many as you need. Also, FYI, 4 regular Osmo batteries last even longer than the Osmo Mobile 2, and if you have a quad charger, it can be recharged in less time as well. Can you see now why the original Osmo Mobile still costs so much more than the Osmo Mobile 2? Basically, DJI is taking a page out of their competitors' own books, and has produced what amounts to a similar looking product to an Osmo Mobile, but not as nice for a lesser price. You might even say that they created a knockoff of the Smooth Q knockoff of the Osmo Mobile. Look, I like DJI products. I recommend them all the time, and not just because I get a commission if you buy one, but because I genuinely like the products and use them myself, including the Osmo series. The video you're watching right now, for example, is being filmed on an Osmo Plus, so don't take this as a DJI bash. I just think DJI really dropped the ball this time. Of the two Osmo Mobiles, the original Mobile or the Osmo Mobile 2, I would recommend the original right now, hands down, especially at a new price. DJI, if you're watching this, and I have a feeling you are, I admit I may be being a little hasty here. I haven't even touched the Osmo Mobile 2 yet, but that is because you have not sent me one. I'm a reasonable guy, though, and can admit when I'm wrong, so if you would like to send me one, I'll be more than happy to do an actual hands-on review of it, and maybe even revise my opinion if I'm impressed by it. But as it stands now, I have not been impressed with what I have seen and read so far, and will not be buying one on my own. For the rest of you, if you think I'm full of crap and want to try one of these on your own, be my guest. I encourage you to. There will be a 1-day pre-sale on the 23rd via Apple, or so I've been told. If you miss that, though, you will have to wait until the general release in February. I will even provide you with a link in the description so you can order one. As with any of my videos, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I would like to know if you agree or disagree with me on this. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please like and subscribe and consider supporting me on Patreon, because that's really the only way I get paid for this, and this gear is pretty expensive. So every little bit helps, even if it's only $1 or $2. Thank you.